Welcome back to the Michael and Ellis show of Survivor Season 48, episode... Do we do episode 9? Is it... Wait, I'm losing oh my god, I'm like, the wheels are coming off.
We're off to a phenomenal start.
Is it... No, but is it episode... Like, is it the number that's about to happen, or is it the number that happened... It's the number that happened last week.
Yeah.
Okay. So 10.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Episode 10. Wow. We're getting down there. Jeez. Season 48 is almost over.
We have our special guest, Abby.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure as always.
Of course.
So
last episode, basically, Joe won immunity again. Fun. And basically, little recap. Watch our recap. Narrated by Ellis. It is an amazing recap.
I haven't made the one for this episode yet. It'll be out.
They don't know
exactly. That. It'll be out when it happens. So keep a lookout for that. And then but basically it was 4v4, and then it basically just came down to Star or Mary trying to just save themselves for like one more day, and Star was basically like, I'm over this. Like whatever happens at this point. And then and then Star went home with what, a 5-3 vote?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I have some notes about like that vote, but Abby, before we get into like the nitty-gritty of the episode, how have you been feeling overall about this season?
Personal fave, I'm still like a new Survivor watcher. I started, oh gosh, what was it? I think it was D season was the first one I watched.
Yeah, this is your third season.
I guess so. So like I'm still pretty new, but this is definitely like not my top season. I'm frustrated with people not going after other people who like are like have so much ammo in their pockets and are so big and strong, if you will, and they're just like letting them kind of steamroll over everyone, and no one's making any moves. And yeah, but I'm still watching it. I'm still loving it. Still a big fan, but you know.
Big fan.
I mean, it is very reminiscent of like an old school season where there's this majority alliance and they are trying to make plans to break them up, and it takes a couple episodes, but I don't think you're the only one that has this feeling throughout, from what I've heard online.
I'm just having trouble following some of their logic as to why they're not going after certain people. Like, I know in this episode, Mitch was like, his logic of having to vote out Star, so like we, as in like I think it was him and Camilla, don't go home next, which I think is kind of insane because like of course they're gonna go for you next.
Yeah.
Well, I think the main thing that I took from that episode is that like Mitch was saying he couldn't trust Star, and I have like even they could still do it without Star because they have Mitch, Mary, and then like Camilla, and then either Kyle or Shaheen. They have a majority, and they could even split the vote if they get Kyle and Shaheen. Then they could split it between Joe and Eva. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Joe's been on this immunity streak. Like you have to flush Eva's stuff at some point. And if Joe has immunity, then I guess that's why they haven't done it, is because Joe keeps winning immunity, so it kind of makes it impossible to try and like flush an idol. But I don't know, just do it. Like try and do a complete blindside. She probably won't even play it.
Yeah, it's just also that I've seen a lot of stuff on like social media about how it's like honesty and integrity is like super like a super big theme this season. And I saw earlier today, I was looking on like Twitter, and I think it was Sam from last season had posted something about how like when you're at the bottom, like you can't always 100% trust who you're voting with, but you just have to trust that like you're gonna vote together for this tribal. And everyone's like, no, like I can't, like I don't trust them. But it's like at this point in the game, like you can't solely rely on that.
Yeah.
And then also everyone is like, I can't vote for them. They're like my best friend, and like we made such a good connection, and like, oh my god, I'm like in love with him. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. You have to vote them out. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
No, really...
I think like it's been interesting because it's like this season is really like filled with kind of like relationships and like, you know, like props to the people who have built strong relationships that even when they're like an obvious threat, like they won't get them out. I think that's like a testament to like their gameplay and how important it is to have like a person who is like has your back in this game, because that's how you can make like really big moves. But it is like so annoying to watch because it's like they're given like chance after chance to like, I don't know, do something about it, and they're like, oh my god, no, like I'll just like wait one more vote. And it's like, girl, the finale is in like 2 episodes, like you need to get your shit together. Because I'm just like, because what I found interesting is there are some seasons where they're so focused on like the idea of like resume building and stuff like that, and I feel like this season that's just out the window. They're just like, I'm just gonna survive another day. I'm like, okay, girl, but like, what's the end goal? Like, you're gonna get to the end and be like, hey guys, I made it here. What did I do? I made it here, and it's like, okay, well,
I think
like, that's so great.
I think the other problem is that there's these groups of 4, whether it's like Eva, Joe, Shaheen, and Kyle, or Camilla, Kyle, Shaheen, and Joe. Like it's either like Eva and Camilla are like the 2 like there's the Green Tribe on like the second swap where they all bonded about like their past, their family's past and their struggles. I think that's a really strong 4. And then I think there's like the Joe and Eva, the strong alliance. That's what remains of the strong alliance. And like they're probably all like, well, we'll make it to Final 4, we'll have fire making, and like I know I'll always have like some shot of making it to the end, like even if I'm the biggest target and like the most obvious boot, I'll still have a chance to make it. So like there's no real reason to like I don't know, try and like blow things up, I guess, because it's kind of like this weird safe route that you like. It's like a constant that you know you can rely on almost, which is frustrating.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about like if I was on the jury and like any mix of whoever it is that's still in the show is like sitting in front of me and they're like pitching their case, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, like, sure, Joe won a bunch of immunities, but like I don't think that necessarily constitutes him as like he should be the sole survivor. And Eva's getting loaded up with ammo and like getting all these literally picked for every reward challenge.
Yeah.
And like Mitch is like starving on the beach. Like I don't necessarily think
it's like a dying Victorian child.
And Michael, I wrote the same thing in my notes about like no one's really like building their resume or like making these big moves, and I'm just like, I wouldn't want to vote for any of them.
Yeah, no, like that's what I think too. Like no one's like that's the thing that I think like with Joe and Eva, it's like their gameplay like makes sense to me. You know, it's like they haven't like lied really. It's like they had this intention. They're like so obviously like a duo, and it just seems like everyone is just okay with that. And everyone even knows Eva has an idol, and no one's brought it up besides Mary, who was like, "Can you play it on me?" And then Eva was like, "No." And so it's like how is she getting away with this? It's crazy to me because no one's even bringing her name up. And like maybe it's the edit, but it's like there's clearly not a clearly, even if her name has been brought up, it hasn't become like a formulated enough plan to even make the edit or like be a big part of it. So I think it's just kind of crazy. And it's also just the fact that I think I realized what bugged me so much when people play it safe is it's like there are probably so many people that like apply to be on like Survivor, and it's like these people are given a chance and then they just like, I don't know, sit and do nothing, and it's just like, oh my god, like it's so frustrating to watch. Because also like I think something that frustrates me about like I guess like Shaheen is just like, I'm like, what is he doing? Like he kind of, I had like high hopes for him at first because I was like, he was like, oh, you know, like he's more of a strategic player. He was like in this alliance, but he kept having confessionals being like, but I'm like not actually gonna stick with them. Like, you know, I like it's like their thing. But then he's kind of totally caved on that whole thing and is just like completely with them now. And like I'm not sure like what his plan is or like what his like long-term game is. So I'm interested to see what he does next, but right now he's just kind of been doing like nothing, and I'm like, if you get to the end, like what are you gonna say? You know, like I'm trying to think of like what Shaheen would say, and I honestly can't think of much. It's like I don't know, like I was part of the big alliance, and it's like, okay, and then it's like, yep, and I was a part of the big alliance.
Well, I feel like the next episode is gonna be real. Well, I hope it's gonna be really like telling of what's gonna happen, because it seemed like in the trailer, like Kyle might finally make a big move, but like who knows? He probably won't, because he's gonna be too like emotionally attached to someone. But I feel like we'll just finally see maybe Shaheen, fingers crossed, marry for my own sake, making some big moves and like trying to quote unquote build their resume. But we'll see. I've been saying that the past like 3 episodes, so I don't know.
They're running out of time.
I think that's the problem with the editing, is that they've built it up like this thing is about to happen, and then it keeps like, I don't know. I'm trying to think, if I were editing the show, if there was any other way to change the. I mean, I guess there is a like validity to like building tension and like hinting at like slowly building this thing, but it feels like I mean, the next time on's always, I mean, Michael at some point was like, you're like, I just don't even want to watch them anymore. Like it always sets you up for like a like a, you know, an expectation that will not be met. But
they're always like, oh my god, you guys, next time the big thing's gonna happen, and then you're like, ooh, and then you get there, and it's like, guess who went home? Chrissy, with a unanimous vote, and it's like, oh, okay, wow, that was not climactic.
I wonder if they're like thinking back, like the people who are like on the bottom right now are like, like why did we vote on Chrissy? Because like she really was the one who'd be like, guys, like alarms, like signals, like get out Joe and Eva, and they're like, okay, we're gonna vote her off, and now they're like stuck with it. So, like,
I know.
Voted her off.
I mean, that's, you know, kudos to Joe and Eva to being able to hold down this majority alliance for so long and keeping people like in line. I was really frustrated at Kyle for like Camilla, his number one, coming to him being like, it's time, and he's like, no, I can't backstab Joe. And it's like, okay, so then who is your like, is Camilla or Joe your number one? Like,
like
I'll win the $1 million. Like, come on, do something.
Like, Kyle, what is your plan? Like, is it just to like continue it? Like, you can't be in the middle forever. I feel like the perk of being in the middle is eventually, like, I don't know. The only, like, I respect games that can be in the middle, but like when you do something with that power, like, you know, like last season, Andy was in the middle a lot because, or like he wasn't even in the middle. He was kind of discarded because people were like, I can beat him. He's like a nothing person. He's like a person you drag to the end. And he used that to his advantage, which was like really cool to see, and like flipped constantly making like these moves. And because he was never seen as a threat, like he didn't get credit for any of those moves. Granted, you know, the whole jury hated him, but like, you know, it was at least like entertaining to see. And then you kind of are, it's kind of like with Kyle, like what's his plan? Like to just be in the, like pick basically like become like just one of the strong alliances, not make a move, and then like I don't know what his plan is. Like, just watch Camilla go home at some point and then be in the final four with like him, Eva, Joe, and Shaheen. So it feels like there's just a lot of people that aren't thinking like long term. Like, I do understand the like, I just have to make it to tomorrow. And I definitely get that mentality, especially if you're on the bottom. But like, if you're on the top, like, I just don't understand why you're not like thinking this like through. Or maybe they are, and it's just, I mean, it's probably not being shown to us, but it's just like, I wish some of that was shown just so it was like we get a little bit of insight, because right now it just feels like a bunch of people are like shooting in the dark, like just hoping for things to work with like out any actual plan.
I think that's why Mitch is another, Michael, you touched on it earlier, that it's like, I want to make this big move, but now's not the right time. There's been so many seasons where this has been the case, and they literally keep saying that until they find themselves as like the 0 vote finalist at the end, and it's like so frustrating. And I think there's like, it's funny. There's like this worry of like, like it feels they're talking about like making this big move and this risk they're taking, like they have something to lose. When like what you were saying, it's like there's so many other people that would have died to like be on the show. Like,
yeah,
you already won. Like you're playing with, it's, I think it's what's his, like Will Kirby is the Big Brother player. He's like, when you get on this show, you're playing with house money. Like, go all out, because if you get voted out, you were casted on a reality television show and you were voted out. That is not a loss, like it's this weird like mind, like your perspective gets skewed and morphed into like thinking that you have something to lose, when it's like you've already won. So like there's no risk that you're taking. If anything, you're giving yourself a better chance to win bigger. But
I think one of the parts of like this season specifically, watching it as a viewer, that's frustrating, is like watching. I know I've like been like, I guess like picking a lot on like Eva and Joe, but like it would be different if they were like, oh my gosh, like we know, like if they're talking about how they know that they're being perceived as these big threats, and like how can we stop this and how can we do that, and what like moves can we make to prevent that. And like that is kind of happening, but the way I think that they're talking about it and carrying it out just doesn't sit right with me as a viewer. Like during the tribal council last episode where Eva was like, yeah, we're just picking them off one by one, like slowly we'll get them all out. I was like, that's just like, it feels icky to me. And then like Joe made like a dig at Star, but like not being able to win like immunities. Like, well, no, duh, you're winning them all. Like, how can anyone else?
It feels very much like punching down, kind of, and it's not a good look.
And it's just like not what I, as a viewer, like want to see. And like if they were acting differently, I might be more happy about them steamrolling over everyone. But I don't know.
I mean, you don't have to be rooting for them. I think that's part of the show, is they're showing like the good and the bad. Because kind of like David's final confessional. One day someone's a hero, the next day they're a villain or whatever. But I'm trying to think like who that. I think that's what's interesting about this season is it doesn't feel like, last season there was like Genevieve or Rachel or like all these players where it's like you really wanted to root for. Even in 46 there were characters, even with how like dramatic and crazy that season was, like there were people that I feel like you could get behind and root for, and 45 too.
Like Charlie, like 100%, absolutely.
This season, I feel like there was like Mary, I think totally had that. Say had that. Like there's a lot of players had that. Even Eva and Joe had it. Shaheen had it. Kyle and Camille had it too. But like, I think all of their arcs are kind of like becoming stagnant in a way. Maybe we could have, yeah, it seems like you're being shown the same thing over. I mean, that we could have gotten way more Star. There's been so many like deleted scenes of Star that are like so fun. And it's like maybe we could have done with one less like David and Joe scene of them talking about like, do you think Shaheen and Kyle are gonna flip on this when they never flipped on them? Like we, I don't know. Maybe we could have had a little bit more on Chrissy. So yeah, it feels like some of these characters are being a little bit exhausted to the point, or just like not shown. Like Mary was like the coolest contestant in the first like 5 episodes, and then we've seen nothing from her in the past 5, and it's just like, well, I don't really want to root for Mary anymore.
Yeah, it's also just like, I don't know if it's the editing or the contestants, but strictly speaking, from like, I'm taking myself out of the contestant point of view, and strictly speaking as like a viewer, it's not like entertaining. I don't know, it's kind of like disheartening to see like this big group just crush these people. It's like I already see that in real life, you know, I don't want to see it on TV too. And like I get it, like that's the thing with like reality shows, that you know, it is real people, and like so you never know what you're gonna get. But it just feels like, I don't know, like it's like if you look at the jury, like Cedric, Chrissy, like the only surprise from the past like 4, um you know, I'll even include say like 5 eliminations, like the only shocking one has been like David, and that was only like, and that wasn't even shocking like in the episode because it was kind of like obvious that he was going, because he was being like really paranoid and crazy, and everyone was tired of him. So it's just like, I don't know, like the beginning of the season was so entertaining, like Say being insane and like literally like Say hunting Mary in the fucking woods to find this idol was like crazy. Like the Justin elimination was also insane, where Jeff had to literally be like, okay, let's just be clear, Justin has no vote. Cedric, this is all down to you. Pick one, like right here, right now. Like that was insane. And now we're here with just like these people who are just like, I'm buff and strong, and other people are like, no, you're not. I'm gonna win, and it's just like, like I don't know. It's disappointing.
I think this is when like people have been mentioning like we need to go back to 39 days, because I think especially with the merge, when you have these big alliances, you need the time to like we showed with Shaheen planting the seeds about David. They need that time to kind of be like, okay, you know what, maybe I don't really trust Star, but maybe this is like my only choice, or maybe I can trust her, maybe I can try and make this move. And maybe that's still possible at 26 days. Maybe you kind of truncate, like, you know, in the pre-merge, you do that in like the first 10 days, and then you leave the next 16 days for all merge. Like you speed up the first half of the game, and then you drag out the second half. But I don't know. Let's get to our we've reached about the 24-minute mark. If we want to segue to predictions, I can kind of I'll just start off. I have one that I think would probably be like the most logical decision, which is almost making me think it's not going to happen. Which I would say would be Shaheen, but that's not going to be my prediction. The one I want to happen, the one I'm rooting for, is Kyle, because I'm just sick of like Kyle, when Kyle was like, and then like when me and Mike were watching it, you know, Kyle was like not down with Camilla's plan, and then like a few minutes later, someone came to Camilla and was like, let's get out Kyle, and I was like, yes, like Camilla, Kyle clearly is not like your number one. Like, get him out of here. He can be a jury vote for you, and then you can be like the queen that just takes it over and takes the whole Soul Survivor home.
That's what I wanted to see. I wrote down I wanted Kyle to like somehow betray Camilla, or for Camilla to just be like fuck this, like I'm over like you flip-flopping and not being able to make a decision, and then Camilla gets Kyle out. I
For
think that would be iconic.
real.
And then it'd be like, because I'm
Right.
kind of like, I want Camilla, I want to root for Camilla. I want her to win or
Hmm.
marry. But I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I could see her like, if she just makes a move, maybe against Kyle. I think that could be awesome and like iconic. And then my other prediction is that like Joe goes home, because I'm just like, also would be fine with Joe going home. I'm like, if he doesn't win an immunity, if he doesn't win the next immunity and they don't actively try to get him out, I don't know if I'll be able to do the season.
The only thing is that like Eva has so many advantages. Like even if Joe doesn't win, I don't see either of them going home because I just feel like I see Eva playing her stuff.
Actually, oh, you go. I was gonna make a different comment.
One thing I'm hopeful for, that they've been giving kind of crumbs to, but I'm not sure if it's actually going to come to fruition. Because I feel like a lot of this stuff about this season, they've shown a lot of stuff that's led not very anywhere, really. Like the whole Say and Mary thing, I was like, oh, a cool epic battle. They're not even on the same team when she gets voted out, and it's, but they do talk a lot about how Eva can't tell when people are lying. And they've shown that like pretty consistently throughout the season. So I'm hoping that that means that at some point someone like lies to Eva, causing her to like misplay her idol. And that will be like a big thing of the season. Like I think what's been so frustrating for me throughout the season is knowing that there could be like these really cool and big moves and they're just squandered like each and every time. Like it's just like you could constantly be like making history, but you're just like doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm hoping that someone causes like, and I feel like there's also like this thing where I don't know if the contestants are just like, if it's because like Eva like came out, not came out, but like said that she has autism, and I don't know if that's making them not want to lie to her because it feels like bad. But I don't know. I feel like that's like the name of the game. Like you can't like you have to like treat everyone equally. Don't like treat someone differently,
and I'm sure like their contestants must have had this conversation at some point. And I think it would have been really interesting if we see that conversation, like, maybe like a few episodes before any, like, if we see, like, I think we're in a little bit of a few down episodes. They're not going to be the like most exciting episodes of the season, and that's, that's fine. In some case, I don't want every episode to be like a blindside, because it's like, well, is it really even a blindside? Like this happens every episode. So like, yeah, I agree. Like I think they've set a lot of stuff up, and hopefully they're paid off within these next few episodes. But yeah, there's some kind of confusion and lack of clarity for why it like hasn't happened yet, because it seems like it should have happened yet by now. But Michael, what you never really got your prediction?
In terms of the predictions, sorry, I just wanted to say that because I think, I don't know, hopefully that will lead to something, but I don't know, my faith in this season is not high. I don't know, for my prediction, I hope it's not, but I'm gonna say like Mary. I feel like, but I don't know. I have no faith in these people anymore to like do anything like good or smart. So like, I guess that's what I'm gonna go with. I hope I'm wrong, praying I'm wrong. Cause like at least Mary is like interesting. Like her journey has been really interesting. She's been on the bottom this whole entire game. And the one time that she got power, she instantly like went mad with paranoia and dragged David into it. And then he got eliminated like right after, and she's on the bottom again. Cause it's like, she has had an insane journey. Like she was supposed to be eliminated in the 3rd episode, and the shot in the dark saved her and caused her like to kind of propel forward in this whole game. Like she is like, I don't think like she's barely ever been in like the majority vote. So I think it could be it's really interesting seeing her do this, especially in a season where they're so strong on like loyalty and sticking with people that it seems like she's constantly on the outs, and watching her kind of, have to continuously like try to like wriggle in something is really interesting to see, because she's like, well, she's like a person who's like actually here to play, and she wants to like
Right.
try everything she can. One thing that I've also thought about, no one's looked for like the merge idol or anything. Like, is there like no one's even like attempted that. No one's talked about it. Which I'm shocked at. Like Eva only has the idol from like the purple tribe. So there should be another idol, right? That's like hidden somewhere.
I mean, Rachel got it from that challenge. Soul got his, right, from the reward, where he found the note. Did he ever find it? I don't think so. I don't remember. Maybe it was like an extra vote.
No, he got the thing where, or was this a different thing? The thing he saved Rachel with, was that it?
Oh, right. That's what he got. You're right.
It wasn't like an idol, but it was like you can save.
And then Rachel got Rachel got the merge idol from like the ball puzzle. I don't think anyone found one hidden on the island.
Okay, so maybe there isn't one hidden anymore, but well, that's sad.
We'll probably see it soon.
Yeah, I mean, Abby, who do you think is gonna go home next?
I mean, I would like to see my Kyle theory work for Camilla. I think that would be iconic. I would like to see Joe go, but again, I don't know how likely that is. So I could see like Mitch maybe going, just because like, I don't know. I feel like kind of him talking about how like, if Star goes next, like we won't go next, like what I mentioned earlier, could be like a little bit of foreshadowing of like, no, like you will be going next.
Guys, when Star goes home, we'll be so safe.
Don't even worry about it.
An Eva blindside would also be really cool. I think because Joe as a character, like I would want to see his reaction to being blindsided and Eva going home, and what he does after that. Like that fallout would be so interesting.
I
would love to see that. I just don't know how likely that is based off how this order of events is.
I feel like it wouldn't be that hard, because we've seen over and over and over again of Eva talk about like, yeah, I'm friends with everyone. I really feel really comfortable. Like she feels so comfortable. I don't think she's ever going to play her idol unless it's like, oh, it's the last day, I get to play it, like that's why I'm like, you guys have to take a shot at her before it's like she's just gonna play it by default. I don't know.
And they keep mentioning that throughout the episodes. Like they keep sprinkling that in of Eva being like, I'm just so confident, I'm so comfortable, like we are doing so well. And I'm just like, when is that gonna like backfire? Like when are we gonna see that come back to like bite her in the butt? I'm hoping soon, and I'm hoping it actually does happen, and they're not just like keep sprinkling that in for nothing. Because like you shouldn't be comfortable on Survivor. That's not like how the game should be.
Exactly, and it's annoying when people are, and like, and then it works for them.
And then no one else does anything about it.
I know. Banging my head against a wall continuously.
All right. Well, we've gone over the 30-minute mark just by a few minutes. Michael, do you wanna wrap us up here?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Comment down below if you're frustrated with also how this is going, or what are your thoughts? Are you happy about this situation? And why? Why would you be? But thank you so much for watching. Abby, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast and coming back once again. We always love hearing your takes. And thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to tune in for the recap that will be posted probably on Wednesday, Ellis?
I'm gonna try and post it
sometime-
at some point. It'll be before
sometime
the
next week.
episode.
Get ready for it. And then we will be back next week with another episode of the podcast. So stay tuned. And thank you guys so much for watching.